Have you ever walked away from a conversation and just felt weird? Like you lost a game you didn't even know you were playing? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden psychological games that shape our daily interactions, a lot of times without us even realizing it. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with a really basic question. Are your conversations actually what they seem on the surface? Or do you ever get that feeling, that there's a hidden script, a subtle power play happening just below the words? The answer, as you might guess, is that this is way more common than you think.
And see, it turns out these aren't just random little quirks in our behavior. They are, for all intents and purposes, structured games. People take on these roles like being the helpless one or the superior one, not just to communicate, but to control relationships and, maybe the biggest one, to dodge responsibility.
To really get a grip on this, we're going to break down 3 specific psychological games. We're going to look at what's called the Peasant power play, the Psychiatry authority game, and finally, the stupid escape act.
Okay, first up, the Peasant power play. Now this one is incredibly subtle, but oh, it is powerful. And it all revolves around someone pretending to be less capable than they really are.
And right here is where you see the big split between the role someone plays and what their real goal is. On the surface, the person playing Peasant seems, simple, maybe a little inferior, but the hidden objective, it's to make the other person feel superior. This move locks in a totally unequal dynamic. It's a pretty sneaky way to control a relationship by just refusing to be an equal partner in it.
And that right there, that's the trap, isn't it? By intentionally playing this inferior role, the Peasant player just reinforces the other person's feeling of superiority. So what happens? Both people get stuck. There's no growth, no change, just this locked-in power dynamic that pretty much kills any chance of a real, honest connection.
Now, for our next game, this one takes that whole idea of power and puts it into a professional setting. It's called the Psychiatry game, and it's all about how a position of trust can be twisted into a tool for control.
So, the whole promise of a therapeutic or professional relationship is supposed to be about healing and growth, right? But in this game, the reality couldn't be more different. It morphs into a power play where the person in authority is actually more interested in control, in feeding their own ego, and in making the other person dependent on them.
And this game tends to follow a really clear pattern. First, it starts with the person in power misusing their authority. From there, they actively work to foster dependency, making the other person feel like they can't function without them. And in the end, the whole relationship becomes about serving the professional's ego, not the client's healing. The whole point of therapy is turned completely upside down.
And that brings us to our third and final case study today, a game that I'm sure many of us have seen or maybe even played ourselves, the stupid escape act. This is the absolute go-to move for anyone looking to dodge responsibility.
The move itself is pretty simple. Just pretend to be confused, or clumsy, or completely incapable. You've heard the lines before. "Oh, I just don't get it," or "I'm so bad at this stuff." But the payoff? The payoff is huge. The player gets to escape all the effort, they dodge any accountability, and they avoid any potential blame. It's a really effective way to deflect. And just look at these rewards. Not only does the player get out of being held accountable and avoid doing difficult things, but they often get sympathy. They convince other people to do the work for them. It's an incredibly effective and, let's be honest, manipulative way to shift all your burdens onto the people around you.
So we've just looked at 3 very different games: Peasant, Psychiatry, and Stupid. And on the surface, yeah, they seem pretty distinct. But there's a really powerful common thread that runs through every single one of them. Let's connect those dots.
And here it is, the common thread. Every single one of these games is a choice. It's the choice to use manipulation instead of just being honest. It's a shortcut to avoid the hard work of maturity and that discomfort that always comes with genuine personal growth. This table really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Whether it's pretending to be inferior, misusing authority, or faking incompetence, each game has a different tactic on the surface. But look at that hidden goal column. It always comes down to the same thing: trying to control a situation or a relationship without having to be upfront and honest about it.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, it really comes down to a simple truth. You can't change a game if you don't even know you're playing. It's impossible. And that is why awareness is everything. Just recognizing these patterns, both in other people and in ourselves, is the absolute essential first step to building more authentic, more meaningful relationship.
And that leaves us with a big question to take with you. Now that you can see these patterns, what games are being played around you? And maybe the tougher question is, which ones might you be playing? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.